Please.
May I request everyone to kindly put your mobile phones on silent or vibrate mode? Good afternoon. On behalf of Bharti Hexacom Limited, a subsidiary of Bharti Airtel Limited, we extend a very warm welcome to each one of you for attending the IPO press conference. Bharti Hexacom's IPO will be the first mega IPO in the new fiscal when it opens in the first week of April. To tell us more about the IPO, we have a distinguished panel of dignitaries on the dais. Let me start by introducing Mr. Somen Ray, Director of Bharti Hexacom Limited, Mr. Sanjeev Kumar, Chairman and Managing Director, Telecommunications Consultant India Limited or TCIL, Mr. Surajit Mondal, Director, TCIL, Mr. Akhil Garg, Chief Financial Officer, Bharti Hexacom Limited, Mr. Nawal Sheikh, Head of Investor Relations for Bharti Hexacom Limited. Representing the book running lead managers, we again have another distinguished panel, Mr. Deepak Kaushik, Group Head ECM, SBI Capital Markets Limited, Mr. Anay Khare, Managing Director, CFIBD Access Capital Limited, Mr. Sanjeev Saraf, Joint Managing Director, Bob Capital Markets Limited, Mr. Prem Dikona, Executive Vice President, ECM, ICICI Securities Limited, Mr. Sriram Parthasarthi, Senior Vice President, Investment Banking, IFL Securities Limited. To commence the proceedings, let Mr. Deepak Kaushik, Group Head ECM, SBI Capital Markets, to make the opening remarks.
Good afternoon, distinguished dignitaries on the dais and the honorable members of the media. Bharti Hexacom Limited, a company whose promoter is Bharti Airtel Limited, proposes to open its bid offer in relation to its initial public offer of equity shares on Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024, and the bid offer will close on Friday, April 5th, 2024. The total offer size is of equity shares of face value ₹5 each, comprising an offer of for sale of up to 75 million equity shares by Telecommunication Consultants India Limited, the selling shareholder. The anchor investor bidding date shall be Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. The price band of the offer has been fixed from ₹542 to ₹570 per equity share. Bids can be made for a minimum of 26 equity shares and in multiples of 26 equity shares thereafter. The objects of the offer are: one, to carry out the offer for sale of up to 75 million equity shares by the selling shareholder TCIL, and second, achieve the benefits of listing the equity shares on the stock exchanges. These equity shares are being offered through the red herring prospectus of the company dated March 22nd, 2024, filed with the Registrar of Companies, Delhi and Haryana, and are proposed to be listed on the BSE Limited and the National Stock Exchange of India Limited, SBI Capital Markets Limited, Access Capital Limited, Bob Capital Markets Limited, ICICI Securities Limited, and IFL Securities Limited are the book running lead managers to the offer. Something about the structure. This is an offer in terms of Rule 19(2)(b) of the Securities Contracts Regulation Rules 1957 as amended with Regulation 31 of SEBI ICDR regulations. The offer is being made through the book building process in terms of Regulation 6.2 of the SEBI ICDR regulations, wherein at least 75% of the offer shall be allocated to the qualified institutional buyers, provided that our company, in consultation with the BRLMs, may allocate up to 60% of the QIB portion to anchor investors on a discretionary basis, out of which one-third shall be reserved for domestic mutual funds only. Further, 5% of the net QIB portion shall be available for allocation on a proportionate basis to mutual funds only. Further, not more than 15% of the offer shall be available for allocation to non-institutional bidders, of which one-third portion shall be reserved for applicants with application size of more than rupees 2 lakh and up to rupees 10 lakhs. Two-third portion shall be reserved for applications with application size of more than rupees 10 lakhs. Not more than 10% of the offer shall be available for allocation to retail institutional individual bidders in accordance with the SEBI ICDR regulations, subject to the valid bids being received at or above the offer price. Just to add, the presentation is being made in compliance with the publicity restrictions as given under SEBI ICDR regulations 2018. By attending the presentation, all participants agree to be bound by the limitations contained herein and to maintain absolute confidentiality regarding the information disclosed in the presentation. For more details, you may refer to the disclaimer which is being reflected on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaushik. Now let me invite Mr. Somen Ray, Director, Bharti Hexacom Limited, to address the media.
Good morning, respected members on the dais and members from the media present in the room and joining online. A very good afternoon and thanks for taking the time to join us. Today is a very significant day in the 3 decades-old corporate journey of Bharti Hexacom Limited. The initial public offering of BHL is being launched here today. Bharti Hexacom was incorporated in 1995 as Hexacom India Limited, with TCIL owning 30% of the company and the remaining 70% owned by other shareholders. In 2004, Airtel acquired majority equity interest in the company by taking over on that 70% and continues to hold today that 70% of Bharti Hexacom. On that acquisition, the name of the company changed from Hexacom India Limited to Bharti Hexacom Limited. As you are all aware, Airtel is a global communication solutions provider with over 500 million customers in 17 countries across South Asia and Africa. It is among the top global mobile operators in terms of number of customers and is India's largest integrated communication solution provider in terms of consolidated operating revenue as of fiscal 23. BHL's presence is in the communication solution provider space, offering consumer mobile services, fixed line telephone and broadband services to customers in Rajasthan and in the Northeast telecommunication circle, which comprises of Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, and Tripura. We are number 1 position in the Northeast circle during the 9 months ended December 31st, 2023, and in fiscals 23 and 22. Bharti Hexacom is present in 486 census towns and had an aggregate of 27.1 million customers across both circles as of December 31st, 2023. We have an extensive distribution and service network across the regions. We operate in and during the 9 months ended 31st December 2023 and in the last 3 fiscals, we have set up 51 retail outlets and 24 small format stores to reach out to 90 cities in these 2 circles. As of December, our distribution network comprised of 616 distributors and 89,454 retail touchpoints. Bharti Hexacom Limited has invested rupees 206 billion in capital expenditure for our future-ready digital infrastructure as of 31st December 2023. Before I move on to the qualitative aspects, I'd like to share a few key financials of this organization. For the 9 months ended 31st December 2023, the revenue was 552,208 million, of which revenue from mobile services was 50,906 million, the balance coming from home and office. The customer base, as I mentioned, was 27.1 million. The ARPU was 197 rupees per customer. In terms of revenue market share, in Rajasthan, we have a market share of 40.4% and in Northeast, 52.7%. The EBITDA for 9 months ended 31st December 23 was 25,764 million and EBITDA margins was at 49.35. The net profit for the period was 2,818 million and net debt to EBITDA was 2.9, delivering a ROCE of 10.68. I move on to give you a background to this IPO. As was mentioned by Mr. Kaushik, PCI proposes to sell up to 75 million equity shares in BHL in accordance with directions issued by the guidelines issued by the Department of Investment and Public Asset Management and other commercial considerations. TCL has decided to divest such shareholding via IPO route, which we believe is the most transparent way of true value discovery. Accordingly, we as majority shareholders are facilitating the IPO process. What I'll move on now is to explain some of the strengths, strategies, and risks that has been elaborated in the red herring prospectus. I'll try to touch on a few. All these are being extracted from the CRISIL report, which is a part of the RHP. We'll start with the strengths. We have established leadership and a large customer base in our area of operations. We are number 1 position in Northeast Circle during the 9 months ended and the previous 2 fiscals. In the Rajasthan Circle, the market share gap between us and the market leader has narrowed between fiscal 21 and the 9 months ended December 23. We believe we have been able to grow our market share by a simple and cogent strategy on acquiring and retaining high-value customers by offering them superior experience at competitive prices. Our digital infrastructure investments, digital experience, and digital services that we provide along with Airtel and its affiliates have facilitated our growth in market share and cater to the need of customers. We offer customized offerings through family plans and converged offerings under Airtel Black proposition. As a result of our strategy, we have been able to consistently increase our ARPU and market share in our circles. During this 9 months ended 23 and the previous 2 fiscals, we reported a higher ARPU than the industry average. During the 9 months ended December 23 on the last 3 fiscals, we have invested 71,003 million in capital expenditure on expanding our network coverage and infrastructure. During the 9 months ended and the last 3 fiscals, we have deployed 9,805 sites, new sites, and we aim to continue and deepen our focus on key revenue generating cities and high-value catchment areas and expand our coverage in rural areas. The second strength is we have presence in high-potential markets. According to CRISIL, Rajasthan has a tele-density of 79.5% as of fiscal 23, which lags the national average of 84.5% due to its lower tele-density of